does God want me to see something that He's doing in my life? Why do I have to work with God? Why do I have to also do something? Why should you be doing something with God? Well, good morning, and I trust you well this morning and taking some time out of your busy schedule this Saturday, that you've got a hot beverage ready to engage with me this morning. It's great to have you, and if you are watching from a YouTube channel, then please push that subscribe button and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. As a matter of fact, if you are watching from any platform, it's good to comment once or twice because your comments are very important and often very interesting. So, Timeout and Timeouters is all about being positive. It's about spreading the positivity as opposed to all the negativity that we hear in the world. I'm sure you're sick of all that. But this morning, I'm going to say to you, having vision that is off the wall. And you may say, Jack, what is vision that's off the wall? And what can I do about vision that's off the wall? Now, I'm glad you asked, so don't go away. So, welcome to Timeout. My name is Jack Vint, and there is a scripture, I think it's Proverbs 29, verse 18. Perhaps you've heard it, perhaps you haven't, that says, without vision, we will perish. I like the Message translation in this particular portion of scripture because it's excellent. It says, if you cannot see what God is doing, you will stumble over yourselves, but if you can see what He's doing, you will be most blessed. So from where you're stumbling to where you're most blessed is two different opposites. So that's what vision does, if you can see what God is doing. Now, of course, before I comment on this, I want to say, essentially, vision is about seeing something. And the reason why God gives us vision is because He says, Jack, I don't want you to perish. So we must remember vision is never for God's sake. It's always for my sake. It's for your sake. God gives you vision in your life, in your marriage, in your finances, in your health, in my business, in my family, in my country, whatever, for my sake, so that I will not perish. And that word perish is an interesting English word. It really comes from leather that has been worn through over time until there's a hole in the leather, especially if it's a shoe. And then when that hole is big, that it's now perished, you can discard that shoe. And that's what God warns us. He says it won't happen overnight. But if you don't have vision in your life and I don't have vision, we will perish. Now, I like what the message says. It says, if we can see what God is doing. Now you may say, Gak, why does God want me to see something that He's doing in my life? Because that's a good question. And the answer is He wants you to have vision in that situation. So when God shows you what He's doing, He is simply saying, I'm doing something on your behalf so that you can see I'm there because I don't want you to perish. Now, it's also important to know that, when you have vision, yes, it's about what you can see, but it's not the only thing. There's another component to vision that's, even more important, and I'm going to get there in a while, so please don't go away. But let's talk about what we can see. Now, when you have a vision in your life, it's often about what you can see. And you get so excited because you say, I've got a vision for a car, or a vision for a new job, or a vision for a nice garden. And you picture the garden or the car or the job in your mind, and you draw a sketch of it. And you get so excited you actually make a picture of it, and you frame it and you put it on your wall. So every time you walk past that wall, you can see your vision. And that's true. It's right. But unfortunately, because of the second component of vision, that picture can be hanging on the wall for months and years. And you can walk past it and say, I see the picture. Why isn't it coming to pass? And that is what I want to speak and share with you this morning. How to get your vision off the wall. Off the wall vision is vision that's no longer just hanging there that you can see, but something that's materializing before your very eyes, because that's also. But let me go back a little bit to the Message Bible, because there's some secret here. He says, if you cannot see what God is doing, Jack, you will stumble over yourself. And it makes me think about almost like a blindfold. When I'm blindfolded and somebody lets me into a strange room where I don't know what the furniture is, I don't know who's sitting there, I don't know what's in that room, everything is dark, and I try and walk, and I stumble over furniture and even people, and I may even hurt people because I cannot see anything, because vision is what you can see. And if you cannot see what God is doing, then it's interesting because you become discouraged. So what God is doing in my vision is the supernatural component, but it's not the whole component. What I need to do with my vision is the natural component. So you may say, but why do I have to work with God? Why do I have to also do something? Why should you be doing something with God? Because you see, vision is always for your sake, not for God's. And I think of the story of if you have a boy or a child and you want them to do something to earn money, like water the garden because they got a vision for a new bicycle. And you say, go and water the garden and I'll give you 20 Rand or whatever amount. And they go and they water and they come back halfway and they say, we're watering the garden, but now we can't get to the front side because the hose reel is too heavy. Can you come, please, as a parent and help me to carry that hose reel closer so I can finish watering? Now, when I go out there and I do that, I am not removing vision from them. I'm only helping them to fulfill their vision. That's, you see, but if I said to them, get out of the way, you're frustrating me, I'll take the hose reel, I'll take the garden, I'll water the garden, and I'll pay the money. What I'm doing to that child is I'm robbing them of vision and they will perish. So that's the same reason why God works with us, because He doesn't want to remove vision from your life. He wants to help you, but He also doesn't want you to perish. So He will bring the supernatural component and you bring a natural component in. And so I would like to speak about what is that natural component. But let me just say, the message goes on to say that when you cannot see what God's doing, when you've got a blindfold on, when you have no vision, the way you perish is you start to stumble. You start to fall. And most of the time, what you fall over is relationships. And I can tell you that when people say they're getting divorced, that relationship has been affected long before the divorce. Vision went out of their relationship. Each person stopped having vision for one another. And so eventually they perished. The divorce was the end, but vision went before everything. If you say, I've lost, my best friend and we're no longer friends, vision went out of your friendship. Or business, if you've got a partnership, when partnerships break, it's because vision has departed from that business, that partnership, or any other business, or any other task. When it fails or perishes, it's really because vision left. That's why it's so important for you listening today to have vision, even for your health, even for your finances. Because you say, what happens? How do I get bankrupt? Because somewhere down the line, you lost vision for your finances and I lost vision. And eventually, our finances perish. You can take it for anything, whether it's your family, your children, your future, your holiday. Without vision, God warns us, we will perish. So we need to see, what is God doing? That's the God component. But then we need to also ask, why is it then that it doesn't happen? Why is my vision still hanging on the wall year after year? And that brings me to the crux of the matter. The second thing that you can do that's equally important to seeing something is what I call mission. So vision is what I see and mission is what I do about what I see. And if I don't have a plan to do something about what I see will never become a reality. It will never become vision off the wall. It will always be vision hanging on the wall. And it makes me frustrated because it's never materializing. So you may ask, Jack, what can I do? Now, I want to say you can do something. If you want to buy a car, or let's say you want to build a house, you can say, I've got a picture of what the house is going to look like, but now I need to do something. I need to go out and I need to see what bricks I'm going to use. I need to see where I'm going to put that house. I need to see what furniture I can afford. I need to see what finances I have. If there's no mission in your vision will always be stuck on the wall. And so your mission is, what are you going to do today? And perhaps I want to encourage you, write it down. Maybe you can start with 5 things you can do. Maybe you can do 7 things, but start somewhere with practical things that you can do. Remember, vision is so that you will not perish. And you say, what will God do? God will always do His share of the supernatural, but He will never remove vision from your life and my life, because if He does, we will perish. So God will bring that component. All He wants you to do is to see something, because God always shows you something, because He says, Jack, I want you to see this in your life. I want to see it in your relationships. I want you to see it in your finances, because something is happening. If you don't see it, that thing will perish. So God is showing me for my sake, and He's waiting for me to do something, because vision is always for our sakes, for your sake. And so this morning, I want to encourage you, have a mission about your vision and start to write it down, and then say to yourself, I'm going to get that vision off the wall by doing something about what I see. My name is Jack Vint. You've been watching Timeout, and I'm going to catch you next week. God bless you.